It's a place between sight and sound.
Let me take you on a journey.
The signpost up ahead.
The journey of the mind. Let me take you to a place where 3 men get together to do a podcast. Although none of them are in the same room. A British man, a strange ex-cop, and a failure.
That pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? Man, that should be the byline for the whole show, you know. A British man, a weird cop, and a failure. Welcome, everybody. You too can watch the train wreck as it happens.
As it unfolds.
We dare you to look away.
You're about to take a journey into
the minds of us 3.
Yeah, there's Mad King Richard, the cruel.
I am well known to be cruel.
He is pretty cruel.
You should have heard the crap he was pulling on us just before we came on the live here, the live thing.
The live show?
Yeah,
I was cracking the whip, Phil.
Yeah, he was putting, man, tell you what, he was putting us down left and right. It was kind of a sad thing. I almost walked off the show.
I was a little upset.
No,
well, I'm not gonna lie, Phil.
Well, you're
sensitive.
You're sensitive person, Chris. You've always been that way.
You know
the artistic types.
Phil, I am an empath. You know.
I know.
I feel.
Me, I'm just a lazy bastard. You know, just sitting here, having a little wine, eating a little cheese. You know,
deliciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't fix the podcast. I just write it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm not judging, man.
Yeah.
I'm not judging, dude.
I am totally judging.
I know that you're a
judger.
We had this intro, this funny. Oh man, this intro is so funny. And who put the kibosh on it? Who, Chris?
Me.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Right there.
Richard.
It was hilarious too.
He ruined it.
And we're sorry you all missed it, but
yeah.
Ex-nay to that.
He wants to do the news.
Of course he does. It's his show. And that's what the show's all about. Bigfoot news.
Bigfoot news that I'm allowed to read by the EU.
Mad King Richard, the cruel.
Indeed. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the Squatchable podcast, where we take a look. No, we don't take a week. We take a look at the week in Bigfoot news.
We should take a week.
That's a fantastic start right there. Can I just tell you? Joining me as always from the 40-inch slip, Chris York. Chris, welcome.
Hey, Richard, how are you?
And for my other co-host, well, some say that he is the result of an unholy union between a bear and the devil himself. Phil Pulling. Phil, welcome to the show.
Howdy.
Do they really say that?
I think of all the things I've ever said that some say, I think that's the most applicable.
That's pretty close. Pretty darn close.
Is he someone that you would assume his parents was a bear and the devil?
Nope.
No.
Well,
okay.
The first one was way off bat. It was like between a nun and a pirate. And that was kind of, that was iffy. It was kind of close, but,
Yeah.
But,
if you enjoy Power Breakdown and the 40-inch slip, you may enjoy the badly drawn misadventures of two Bigfoot. Head on over to Bigfooting with Keith and Colin, where this week Errol the Zombie will clean up after the Area 51 raid. That's coming up this week on Bigfooting with Keith and Colin. I just say that Errol the Zombie is like by far and away the most popular character I've ever come up with. Everyone loves him. I might do a T-shirt.
And he's civically conscious to go help out with the Area 51 cleanup.
Well, yeah. And without further ado, I am your host, Richard Allen from Britain. With that, let's get on with it. Our first story
Wait a minute, you're from Britain?
I am.
Man, like everybody thought it was from Weippe, Idaho or something.
I'm just scatterbrained all over the place. I'm making a meal of this. This is not going to be a good podcast. Let's just move forward. Get it.
You mean move forward to the end of the podcast?
Yeah, guys. Yeah.
Our first story comes from TwoRowTimes.com. It is an opinion piece about researchers searching for Bigfoot in the Kisatchie National Forest.
Mhm.
In the middle of the Kisatchie National Forest, a Bigfoot researcher who calls himself Tex La lets out 4 howls in an area that he and another researcher, Claude, has seen signs of Bigfoot activity. Several seconds go by.
Wait. He let out howls when he was Claude.
No, he was with a guy called Claude.
Oh, a guy that was Claude, and he let out a howl.
Yeah, 4 howls.
Four howls. All right.
In an area with apparent Bigfoot activity.
Oh,
Visible signs.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good sign.
Yep. So several seconds go by with only the sounds of insects heard all around.
It must be Bigfoot area.
Then 4 howls answer back, somewhat mysteriously. Texla and Cloud discuss the howls and from which direction they came. Texla then calls out again with another 4 howls. After several more seconds, those howls are also answered back. So, set the scene. There's 2 dudes. They're howling, and something's howling back.
No, I think I'll set the scene. There's 4 dudes, 2 dudes on one end of the park, and the other 2 dudes on the other end of the park, and they're howling back and forth at each other.
Yeah. Do you reckon that's what's going on?
I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying it could be. And if it's an area known for Bigfoot research, well,
and I'm gonna weigh in. There's 2 dudes, and there's aliens coming, and they got tomato guns, and it's a Mexico
potato guns.
That was another show.
Potato guns.
Okay, so there we have it.
That was interesting.
It's up to those who hear the howls to decide for themselves if they believe the howls came from Bigfoot, a forest animal, or another human.
Audio?
I didn't hear any audio on that.
There wasn't any audio.
It was just
there you go.
It was just a write-up.
It's an opinion piece.
Yeah.
Well, my opinion is if you didn't have your tape recorder recording all this, well, you're just lame. You're just lame. You're a lame ass. Those 2 guys are lame asses. They don't have any recorders out. They're not recording it, and they're not publishing the howls.
Phil,
you just have to take them at their word.
Phil, you're about to feel very, very silly because the next line is literally, he recorded the howls and we'll study them later.
Oh, yeah. Well, he says so. He can say anything.
That's later, though.
And we're talking about now. I mean, why does he have to examine it to release it? I mean, is there something about this recording that his scientific mind and his vast amount of scientific equipment in his den is going to pick up on? I'm serious. I mean, if you got a couple of howls, you got a couple of howls. What's to research?
Well, to avoid harassment and ridicule from those who don't believe in Bigfoot.
Too late.
Texla and Cloud from Baton Rouge don't want to discuss their full names or the locations in Kisatchie National Forest where they are researching.
No, because a name like Texla is going to just work so well.
I believe it's a pseudonym.
No kidding.
Right, but he's trying to avoid ridicule.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you know, it's supposed to be like Tesla. It's like Tesla. Texla. It's like a Texas Tesla.
We got it, Phil. You
really scientific-y when you use Tesla and Texla instead of that. So
well, Phil, they're known to be scientific-y.
Yeah. Well, they're not being very scientific-y, you know. In my mind, you know. Yeah.
Well,
I have a
Kisatchie
story,
National
too.
Forest.
I was in the shower the other day and I gave 4 howls and I heard 4 howls back. And you know what? I got it all on tape, but I'm not going to let you guys hear it because
All right.
because it's got to be sent into the University of Washington for complete examination before I can make a determination as to
Smell
whether
as
or not.
clean as an Irish Spring.
We'll get to that at the end of the show.
Whether or not he smelled as clean as an Irish Spring.
Hey, yeah, run like a deer, but you smell like a goat. How's some Irish Spring?
You said that only if someone else started it.
That's Irish. That wasn't English.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you lasted longer than I thought you would, to be fair. So I'm grateful.
You didn't say anything about not having an Irish thing.
I thought when I said let's put the accents on the back burner.
All the accents. Okay.
All the accents. But
right.
okay, apparently not. That's my bad. I'm sorry, Phil. I should have been more specific.
I'm sorry. I thought you said to throw a shrimp on the Barbie.
Claude became interested into researching Bigfoot while he was at Jebediah State Smith's Park in Northern California. While sleeping in his vehicle, he could smell one that was trying to look in through a dark window. It was the stench that permeated the vehicle that woke him. It smelled like 50 gallons of stale urine and an old pile of wet dogs.
It was.
Skunk cabbage.
He awoke from a sound sleep, wondering what could smell that bad. As he sat up, he said aloud, "What is that odor?" And suddenly it disappeared, he said.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, man.
All I can do.
What is that?
All I can think of was a vehicle full of piss.
Depends.
Continue. Oh. I'm good.
So when I got back here, realized I didn't have enough money to go roaming back to California again, I looked up Bigfoot in Louisiana, and this area that's shown predominantly over the years, Bigfoot sighting and things like that. On this trip, Cloud and Texla hiked to an area where they have found signs of what could be Bigfoot activity. Some signs of Bigfoot activity they look for include twisted tree limbs wound across other tree limbs and marker formations made from branches and sticks. One such formation involves a tree teepee he came across. It involves 4 trees with 3 bent towards the 4th. Sometimes the way the branches are twisted together could indicate that it is a marker or barrier. Claude said it could also be a way to get other animals to move to a certain area. Bigfoot can make its own game trail, said Cloud. It's interpretive. Bigfoot roam, said Cloud, and migrate to where game are. Cloud and Texla said there is also a water source close to the area. Another sign Cloud observed was sticks forming an X lying on a branch. Another side includes 3 parallel sticks lying perpendicular to another stick. Stick structures. Nice. In another area, Texla found a tree that looks like it had been pulled down on purpose. The tree's bark bears an abrasion that Texla said it could have been made by a hand that was holding the tree while pulling it down. You have to be analytical and skeptical of everything you see, said Cloud. He does his homework to figure out if trees can naturally...
neither.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know, I'm on your side for that one. He does his homework to figure out if trees can naturally do some of the things he's seen or if the weather was a factor. You have to be educated yourself, said Cloud. He has also left gifts.
What did he?
Such as a jar of peanut butter hanging 8 feet from a rope in a tree next to a trail, which Cloud says...
I thought that story was going to go in a completely different direction.
The peanut butter has been hanging in the tree for a while. It's a little disappointing that a squirrel or something didn't get it, he said. Asked why he left peanut butter for Bigfoot, Cloud replied, all animals like peanut butter. It's a well-known fact.
Maybe it was the open jars of peanut butter in the side of his van that he was smelling. Seriously, hey, Chris, honestly.
Yeah, Phil.
You know, I mean, they're hitting every single point about Bigfoot research as if they themselves came up with it. I mean, they're taking all of these main points that everyone else has already done. And, Chris, can you please write an article, come up with a stupid name, Dave or something, Dave. Write up an article talking about your research area and how you went in there and all the stuff you heard one night and all the smells and then all of these signs and how you took tracks, and then pass them off to one of these stupid news agencies who obviously will post anything.
It's amazing.
Just sight unseen. Just, you got a good story here, buddy. We're going to go ahead and publish it.
Yeah.
I've got to make do with what the EU let me read, Phil.
Well, so much for the EU.
We've told you that we'd work with you on that, Richard.
Yeah, we were going to send you stuff.
You never reach out to me.
After 20 years of research, Texlar said he still doesn't know everything.
20 years of research. We've never heard of this guy.
It gets better. It gets better.
Amazing.
He goes by what he reads or what he views on YouTube. He says the evidence is there to support that Bigfoot does exist, but the world wants more proof. It's going to take a body for the world to accept it, said Texlar. Okay, Phil, I'll give you a moment to rage.
That's okay, man.
Okay.
So he researches like somebody else we know that asks about lunchboxes.
Yeah.
It may never be solved in our lifetime, said Texlar about the Bigfoot mystery.
Well, it could be. Maybe his name is Reverend Tex. Blah, blah.
It is up to the individuals to make up their own minds about whether they believe in the existence of Bigfoot. And as always, the links for those stories are in the description.
I thought for sure that was going to end with a twist, like that. It was about Santa Claus.
No,
a long story.
It wasn't.
Speaking of Tim Fasano,
yes.
Buddy. Oh, my buddy.
Here we go for our usual catch up with Tim Fasano. Now, I had a viewer contact me.
What's with the skull cap action he's got going on here, Richard?
Check out the bling.
I had a viewer contact me and ask why we keep picking on Tim. We don't pick on Tim. We love Tim.
Everything we say about him is right up there, top drawer.
And the only thing
shelf.
you're missing in this picture right here, Bob,
a
grill.
Yeah. Yeah, there you
need to go with the full grill and that whole look.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's got the bling. He's got the the do-rag,
Yeah, he's got a look going on there, but I think a nice grill brings that all together. It ties the whole room together like the rug in the Big Lebowski.
Well, it could still happen. It could still happen.
I agree.
But the ever magnificent Tim Fasano returns with a 5-minute video updating us on the trail cam retrieval in Operation Deep Skunk,
where he walks on water.
He does walk through
water.
Deep skunk.
He walks on water in this one.
Can you imagine that over the walkie-talkie? Operation Deep Skunk is a go. Yeah.
Is that what they would say in Britain?
I imagine.
Yeah.
I've seen movies. Anyway, so what would any Bigfoot video start with? It would start with Tim Fasano's partner Kevin's band, obviously. I mean,
yeah, you want to see Kevin as a guitarist, because he's got to be cool.
Well, he just shreds. He just shreds like mad.
Shreds that thing up, man.
Oh man.
But they face many dangers and perils as they return to their trail cam deployment site.
With very blurry video.
Oh, it was awful, wasn't it?
Oh,
it was. I don't know. You know the joke about filming with a potato.
Yeah.
Well, that was a potato that they actually had. They had to rent.
Yeah, that was a potato that had lost interest in its entire career and really given up on itself.
But what I was kind of disappointed in the video, and it's the only part that I was disappointed in, is that when he was showing the musicians in the band,
Mm.
he panned back to this very lovely blonde for like a half a second, said she sings with the band. Then he pans back away from her.
That's the lead singer. Was what he said.
Yeah, that's the lead singer, and then pans away from. I mean, well, wait,
Right back to Kevin. Right back to Kevin, shredding it up.
Was really
well. We've all seen that picture, so
we have.
Anyway, they see a cottonmouth snake with its mouth open. Cottonmouths are extremely venomous.
Mm-hmm.
They get very wet. They worry that they may die because of the bears and cottonmouth snakes and various other things. This
is why picking cotton back in the 1800s was so hazardous.
That Kevin stays nice and dry while old Tim goes trudging through the water and gets.
He was walking on.
Tim is the adventurer here. Kevin
is the weenie.
Well, you got to admit, Tim Fasano, he just, he knew that there was gators around. He knew.
I love at one point Kevin says, there's no sense in both of us getting wet, so I'm just going to stay over here.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's right about, back in that area, even the insects can kill you. So, that gives you, and you got the cotton mouth full of cotton, and, man, you got gators and all kinds of insects and spiders and stuff.
He was really taking his life into his hands. But
I think so.
He got to the trail cam, retrieved it. Apparently, there were 8,300 pictures on that trail cam, or all of their trail cams. So we will look forward to them being released. And in the final moments of the video, he thanks someone from the Olympic Project for the equipment.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's
a name that you won't mention, or what?
No, I won't, because it'll set Chris off. And
no, well.
Oh, okay. He thanks Derek Randalls.
Good. Well, it's awfully nice of Derek to loan the equipment to
him. Yeah. Okay then. So moving on. We have another Bigfoot conference. As we always do, it is in Toledo.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah, it is the Toledo Bigfoot and Paranormal Conference on Saturday, October 12th.
I went close to Toledo.
Well, there you go. October 12th. You got plenty of time to get there.
Oh, I'm not going back down there. I already went to see Alcorn.
Oh, maybe Alcorn's going to be there at the
doubt it
conference.
We couldn't even get him to go to Loveland.
Well,
The event is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and features speakers and vendors specializing in Bigfoot, cryptoids, and the supernatural. Admission is just $10 at the door, and children ages 12 and under get in free.
Ooh.
What about people that are mentally 12 and under? Because that's like 90% of the big. Never mind.
No, Chris already said that Steve wasn't going. So.
Oh, snap. Pre-sale tickets are now available at brownpapertickets.com. Everyone who purchases an advance ticket will be entered to win a raffle for cool prizes.
Oh!
But it doesn't say what those prizes are, so
of course not.
Make of that what you will. Speakers include celebrity cryptozoologist Ken Gerhard, host of the Travel Channel's In Search of Monsters TV show, Mothman expert Steve Ward, author and Lake Erie monster expert Chitan Noir, plus paranormal author
what was his name?
Chitan Noir.
Shit on what? Chitan Noir?
Quinoa.
Really? We're making name jokes now.
No, I'm just trying to clarify. I'm just trying to clarify.
Phil's lead. Phil started it. He pushed the first button.
Plus paranormal.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what I tell everybody. All bets are off once the first shot's fired, Richard.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, dozens of vendors will be on hand hawking spooky and occult-themed arts and crafts. The Toledo Bigfoot and Paranormal Conference is the brainchild of Toledo siblings and hosts of 222 Paranormal podcast, Jennifer and Joe Shortridge. The pair launched their popular podcast in June 2016 as a platform to discuss news from the paranormal world and interview special guests, including psychics, mediums, ghost hunters, and everyday people with true supernatural stories. In addition to their in-demand podcast, now listened to by thousands of people all over the world via iTunes, iHeartRadio.com, and more, the duo leads ghost hunts and appear as speakers and vendors at conventions throughout the country. Jennifer Shortridge explains the impetus for hosting the conference is to give the public a better understanding of the science of cryptozoology and the existence of Bigfoot, and a further education on the mysterious realm of the paranormal. Right. So,
a good show, good podcast, and I'm sure to be a good conference.
I've never listened to it. Is it good?
It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's always informative when you're talking about, spirits and demons and things of that nature. What's such interesting as hell.
It's not really my thing.
Well, no one says it had to be your thing. I'm just saying it's a good show.
Okay. So we move on to Squatchable for one of our lovely stories. Encounter stories, of course. I do love these. I was driving down 43W outside of Bedford, Virginia at 11:30 p.m. when I saw to the right side of the road, walking away from the road, a Bigfoot with a child. It was next to the mailbox for 4472 on 43, where there is a gravel poured drive. At first I thought it was a deer, about same colouring, but as I got closer I noticed it was not a deer at all. It was much taller, about 6 feet from the hips down. As I got closer to it, it appeared the mum, I assume that it was a mum since there was a baby with it, put a baby down and was bending over the rocks. At that time the baby looked right at me, and it just looked like the Wookiee on Star Wars, and it had a brown looking nose. The baby seemed as surprised to see me as I was to see them. I guess we looked like aliens to them. The baby was about 3 feet. It hit the mum at mid-thigh. I painted circles around the footprints I found the next day, 3 prints with about a 3-6-inch stride. The first print you come across is the best. Prints are difficult to produce in gravel, but the first one is fine gravel. There are 2 circles next to each other where it appeared the mum put the baby down. They were heading into the woods, and although there are deer around, there was a path worn in that direction. I reported this to the local police department, and it was ignored. Basically, they did not want to bother to even look at the prints. The guy who took my report said, "In 10 years, I have never heard of anything like that." And that is that story.
I like that story.
Short and pointless.
And now you know
The rest of the story. Well, Harvey, good day.
And for a final story, we go to Squatchable again for a comparison video made by Wookiee-looking Bigfoot. It's 2 minutes long. He tries to make a quick comparison shot of the angry Bigfoot in Ohio footage. He can't find anyone to pose for him, so he just uses the trees as a guide. It's literally just a video of him pointing at trees and saying that's where we saw the Bigfoot.
That's where we had the encounter.
No, there was actually a figure in the video, at least a partial figure, that I'm thinking could be Shadow. But
no, that was the one he was comparing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But the comparison, of course, it was. I mean, he could have brought a tripod out if he had one. If you could find something to just mount or set the camera on, so he could actually go out and do it himself. But no, he decided to just try to line up some trees, which he lined up incorrectly. No, I was going to do a video about it yesterday, and then things happened and I couldn't get to it. But yeah, that was on my schedule, and I blew it off.
You heard it here first from Phil Garman.
Good night.
Terror breakdown, prostitute.
Nice. So, are you going to do it for next week?
Yeah, in fact, I'll probably end up doing it today or tomorrow.
Oh, we can feature that next week then.
And there's another one I was going to do too. Another Bigfoot one, as a matter of fact.
Ooh,
Nice.
Well, it wasn't Bigfoot. It's actually Dogman.
Littlefoot.
Dogman.
Oh,
A young couple both filmed at the same time. A dogman looking at them.
Dogman Radio.
Well, that'll be lots of fun.
That's right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do a voice and characterization there.
No.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I know how you feel about them.
So that's what you're up to this week, making some comparison Bigfoot videos.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah.
Chris, what's coming up on tomorrow's edition of the 40 and Slip?
The Kelly Hopkinsville encounter. And
oh man, can't miss that one.
And what those freaks are doing at Storm Area 51, where like there's all kinds of fake pictures coming out. I got caught with one of them. I posted one. Matt's like, that picture's fake, right? I'm like,
I like the Forrest Gump picture.
Stands. What's that?
I like the Forrest Gump picture.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be talking about the Storm Area 51 and Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, and hijinks will ensue. There'll be curse words.
Yes, there will be.
I'm looking forward to that tomorrow on the 40 and Slip. If you've had a supernatural or Bigfoot experience, Matt Nat wants to hear from you. Go to bigfootcrossroads@gmail.com to email him about them. I think that's it. And the shameless plugging. Can't think of anything else.
Yeah. There's always no, never mind. No, it's okay. Hit it with the Fat Boy Slim and we'll be out of here.
That'll wrap us up for this week. We will return next week, despite the hopes of many, with more Bigfoot news that the EU will let me read. So it's good night from me, and it is good night from them. Good night.
Good night.
Good day.